Welcome to the Shuffle Pod. This is Geoff. I just want to apologize for the quality of this episode. After we recorded last week, my computer crashed and I couldn't save my audio, so I had to pull all the audio from the recorded video on OBS. Also, my OBS didn't record everything properly, so you'll notice there's cut off portion of the screen. Again, I apologize. I hope you still enjoy the episode.
You have selected Shuffle.
I'm George. I'm DJ.
And I'm Geoff.
So that was a thing before we started the show. Pop it up there real quick.
Okay.
So people can see.
Yeah, I was at work and I was trying to find a background to my computer screen, and I was looking at pictures of the dogs because you got to be kind of PC, you know, at work. And I came across this dog, and it looks an awful lot like George. Like so much so that I have some questions.
You can't stop laughing.
I fucking love it. It's the look on its face. It's great. It has no neck. It's just a giant head and shoulders.
It does look a scary amount like George. I don't know. What do you think? It's his eyes?
I think it's the piercing eyes. Yeah.
And
And the jowls.
Jowls.
Yeah, proportionally, like the eyes to nose to mouth, like it's right there. It's
Right.
Here, I'll
You
stare right
can
into the
pull this
camera.
up on YouTube right now. Just look up today's show. We don't know the name of it yet. But
Yep.
I wish I could put George's face right next to the dog. Like, just...
Yeah.
We'll
I'm
work
sure-
on it. We can post it on Facebook.
I'm
later.
sure George the dog will be in part of the name.
I will have to try to do that in post when I do the editing of this video. Just put them right next to each other. It's going to be amazing.
Dude, when you first popped it up prior to the show, I mean, I still have tears in my eyes.
You
I was laughing
almost
so
fucking
hard.
died. I mean,
I literally felt like this is it, and if this is it, I'm okay with it. I made my peace. So,
shit.
how's
Did you
this,
say
Geoff?
the other
It's
day-
been like a year since we hung out with Geoff.
Right.
How's
Yeah,
Geoff doing?
Yeah, Jeff's been gone a while.
Yeah, so I've been gone a while. People know.
how's that yard coming?
How was rehab?
Holy Christ.
Tell us
My
about-
yard is almost... Yeah, rehab was good. Didn't take, but...
Didn't take.
So,
Still chasing that dragon.
yeah, I had so much shit going on. And, like, every week, you guys were like, oh, let's do a show. I'm like, fuck, I'm out again. Like, I had
I got counsel.
I had
I
to
got
work.
big group.
Yeah, I know. I got group therapy and I got, all that. But seriously, I was like, I had a work function, and then the next week was Memorial Day. I was out of town for that. And then the next week I had something else going. It was crazy. And I've been working on this project on my yard. So I've been working my ass off.
That doesn't look like a little project in the yard.
No,
no.
It's a bit of a project. Yeah, I lifted the one corner 6 feet, put it in a retaining wall, and filled.
Oh, wow.
So that now I have an actual yard that I can use. Before it was just an 8-foot vertical change from the top right corner to the bottom left corner, and it was just an unusable yard. Woody's seen it. You guys haven't been over to my house, but it's
So how high is the retaining wall? 6 feet.
the retaining wall is 6 feet.
So
Just tall enough to keep the Asians out. Am I right? Is that what you were saying earlier?
No,
George, they're Oriental.
they're Orientals. Yes.
So are you putting
Are
a
they? I
fence
thought
around it?
Oriental was food. I don't remember.
It's rug.
Yes, I'm putting a dog ear privacy fence around the top. So
Okay. All right.
Oh, nice.
No, I want people to walk right off. Right.
And just,
no, I thought of that. And since the rehab didn't take, I gotta
yes.
think about the
yes.
drunk people, especially myself, that will be wandering off the top of the wall. That's not gonna stop us from climbing over and jumping, but at least
No.
it slows us down.
Yeah, it will discourage it.
Oh my god! So yeah.
So I have that dog now on my second laptop over in the corner, and it's just that dog on the screen.
Just
And I
staring
just
at
keep
you.
glancing over, looking at it, staring at me all judgingly.
It's the greatest thing.
I gotta
I
get
love
out
it.
there.
He's like, George, stop looking. Oh, that's the dog. Damn it.
So, hey, I want to show these. Woody gave this
Oh yeah.
Gave us our shuffle pod. Mine's in titanium platinum, which is, I think, higher than gold.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So go ahead and show your second place trophy.
No,
There
mine's
it is.
gold.
I haven't
That
gotten
thing's
mine.
so freaking badass.
Apparently, mine's gonna be black because I'm last.
And Woody, this
Thanks,
gold
Woody.
is
Everybody's
different.
gonna get a gold and a silver one
Ah.
eventually. They just take 18 hours to print, and my wife keeps wanting me to print these little fucking
Dicks.
Well, yeah.
He wants me to keep printing these keychain dicks that her and the girls at work just keep chewing on.
Woody, I got
It wouldn't be
my
so bad,
old-
but they're 8 inches.
my my old pizza cutter stand.
Yeah.
That was also gold. But look at the difference in your gold compared to this.
It's.
Oh, yeah. It's
I mean, Woody only uses high quality.
Yep.
that's right.
Well, his is
Only the
18
highest
karat.
quality 3D printing thread.
Woody made me all kinds of stuff, man. I can't show it because it's already screwed up there, but I got our old logo headphone hanger. It's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how good you can see it, but
Yeah, that
Made
thing's
that for me.
incredible. I've got
He-
mine.
yeah,
in
he
red.
made one for George too.
And I think is that correct, or should I turn it?
It's very blurry.
Yeah, I can't see
Yeah.
It just says
it. Oh,
the
because
shuffle
it's
pod.
clear behind. Oh, yeah. You need to put
It's
there. You
good.
put it on your
Sorry.
head. Perfect.
Yeah, perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. No, it's I think they're freaking awesome. I love it. The 3D printing craze has reached my house at a fever pitch. I've wanted one so bad, but my wife keeps shooting it down.
No. Yeah, I want one, but I just spent all my money on my yard.
Yeah. Oh, that had to have been a ton, man. I know
Yeah.
I put a real small wall over to park my little trailer on, and it's just tiny. I mean, it's like 2
Right.
feet by like 6 feet. And it was way more than I thought it was going to be. Way more. So I can imagine what yours was. Yours is what? How long is it?
It is, one side is 40 feet, and then it comes across 10 feet,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it returns for the steps 10 feet. So,
Oh.
yeah, and then
Well, that's
I
good. I
had
just kicked my thing again. Sorry.
That's all right.
George is gonna break his toe by the end of the morning, but I
my
had to
God.
put, I think it was 160 yards. I had
Oh, just to
nine
fill.
9 or 10 dump trucks.
Did you do it all with dirt, or did you do a bunch of gravel down low? for
I
drainage?
did all dirt except for around the wall because you got to put gravel behind the wall or it will
Yeah.
collapse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I used I pull up a picture, but if I do, it's gonna pop up on the wrong screen and it's gonna show up in front of us, and it's just gonna be annoying for the show. So I'm not gonna do that. But I'll pull them up. I should be done by the end of this week, or at least really close. So next show, I'll do pictures that I can put up behind me.
Now, have
show
you
them
been doing it
individually.
yourself?
Yes, I've done
Like
all
by
of it.
yourself?
All of it,
He
except
used to
Wow.
install in-ground pools and stuff.
yeah. This
back
is
in the
this
day.
used to be my job. Like it was a part of what I did.
So,
Thank you, Woody.
but that's still a lot. You're not a young
Oh, yeah.
man anymore.
no,
No,
no.
well, he's
You should
definitely
be-
not.
You
young.
should be like completely jacked now.
I should be, but I'm not.
What size blocks did you use?
They are
Like 90?
8 by 12 by 6, so they're 45s or 50s. I
Pounds?
moved, yeah. I moved. Let's see, there was 20 pallets. Each pallet had 60 block. Each block was 45 pounds. I moved every single one. Yeah. Stacked every single one. I had, like, Justin was helping me the past couple days because his
Okay,
wrist
so you didn't do it by
I
yourself.
was
Well,
gonna. Okay, so right now, Justin, listen to that first part, and he's just
No,
stewing.
no, he's-
Justin's like,
he's been
Son of
sitting,
a
like,
bitch.
watching because his wrist was broke and he
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
allowed
he's
to
got
use
the
it.
injury.
So
Yeah.
finally, he's able to use it. So he's been coming over and like helping me
so you
hang
just kept jerking
cables
off
and
the
stuff.
entire time.
But I didn't have a crew. It's just been me, and I have a guy down the street that does odd jobs that I've, had him help come, stage block for me, that kind of shit. But for the most part, I've done it all. by
That's really
myself.
cool, though, man. It's good stuff.
So, George, what have you been up to? Have you like been to the beach or anything?
Well, I went fishing. But what are we talking now? Oh, we're good.
That's him fishing. That was a good
That
fishing
was from
picture.
Woody. Woody just sent that.
I'm loving this new.
Oh, it's just a big picture.
It's
of
so
a
bad. I mean,
big
I should be
naked guy
like
on the
completely
beach.
insulted and angry, but it really does kind of look like me.
Can you see the name of it anywhere? Oh no, it was the email title. He titled it George on the Beach.
George, you look good. You've lost some weight since that beach trip. You're looking good, man.
Thank you, man. I tell you, that thing went around work a couple times. Look, George looks like a dog.
Yeah, George looks like
George naked on beach. George looks like a dog.
Oh, there it is.
I love it so much. I
It's
just
the
love that
greatest
so
thing
much.
I've ever seen. That's gonna be my for my phone. I'm gonna turn it into a black and white photo, so it's my wallpaper.
You
Like,
have
you
to
need
go.
to find who owns this dog and buy him off of them.
You really
I love
do.
it. I think it's the greatest thing.
You need to go as that dog for Halloween and just paint your face, nothing else. Just
That's it.
Just the colors. You don't need to add the ears, anything. Just put the colors in the right spots.
I love it.
It says Naked George on the Beach. That's what that was titled.
I should be horribly insulted and angry, but I'm good with it.
It's funny as hell. Though.
DJ, your picture disappeared. Your video.
I did.
Yeah.
No, he's on mine.
Yeah, I see him.
All right. Well, it's maybe just my slow ass computer.
Okay.
So, last night, our buddy Murph is moving to Texas,
Oh.
and
I don't see no horns on him.
I was hoping somebody would say the joke, but nobody did. And but yeah, he's moving. Him and his family's going to Texas. So we met up. Actually, all of us, but Geoff, on the show.
Because
Met up, and
didn't
I don't mean it
invite me.
like I don't mean it in a bad. Jeff was laying pipe and blocks, so we're good. We all met up at the old bar we used to go to.
Yeah.
That was
Sort of.
almost 20 years ago.
Sort of.
Well, that's true. This place is actually really nice. As a matter of fact, this show is brought to you by Royal Docks Brewing Company on Oakland Square in Canton, Ohio, Plain Township. And
Yeah, used to
we're
be
a little
little
lowbrow
stopping
for them.
grounds.
that place is
Man.
beautiful.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it was.
And
It is not Franny's though.
no, okay. Let's talk about a little bit about Franny O'Brien's. Used to be the dive bar that we all used to go to.
That was the bar I met you guys at.
Yes.
Yes.
That's the
And
one.
actually, DJ, did you know Woody before Franny's, or is that where you met him?
He was Jason's roommate. So I
Right.
met him through there. So
Okay, through actually Jason's house.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so basically what happened was I would go to Franny's with like Jason and DJ and really with Jason we usually see DJ there, but one night I
had a problem.
yeah, and they would hang out with you guys if you guys were there, George, like you and your brother and,
Yeah.
and Murph and those guys, like kind of together, kind of apart, one of the things. And one night I went up there and I was by myself, and it was just you guys were up at that big long table up top on the top section, and I just came over. I was like, "Hey, you mind if I hang out?" And you're like, "Yeah, absolutely."
And that was that.
And that was that. I was that guy for probably 3 years. I don't think
Yeah.
anybody knew what my name was, but
Well, that's how you got Woody.
they let me hang out. So
So, I mean, but that bar we did everything at that bar. Like our band played there. Our feet stuck to the floor.
Yeah.
In the bath. That actually, DJ, you do a good job of describing the bathroom.
Oh, the Franny's bathroom, man. It usually, as soon as you came out of the bathroom, there would be like a slight incline down to the like the back room area. The toilets would always overflow all the time. So the water would actually, I don't know, half inch to an inch on the floor sometimes, and it would run out of the bottom of the door and right down that ramp. And there would be like flowing toilet water down the ramp. And this was like a weekly thing. I mean,
No, it
happened
was
all
crazy.
the time,
Your
all the
feet
time.
would always stick to the floor.
Yeah.
Like, because it was always habitually damp, no matter how dry it was in the bathroom. and it was damp with urine.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Woody and DJ took Justin and I there one time when we came down for
I
something.
think we did.
I'm pretty
I'm
sure
sure
because
probably
this
at some
sounds
point.
really familiar.
I mean, like once you got over your first round of canker sores
yeah, you're
from there, I mean, you were immune to everything else.
Well,
so.
there was some messed up stuff too, like the bartenders.
Huh.
Okay, first of all, let's start with the owners. The owners were just coke heads.
oh,
They were doing coke in the bar.
on the bar.
One was
Yeah.
arrested at one point. So the bartenders pretty much ran the place. So what they would do is they would hang cups over top the beer taps, like they're out of beer. They'd go up to the gas station, and they would buy a whole bunch of just cases of Bud Light and Miller Light, and they would sell the cans for $2 a piece,
Right.
and they'd
Yeah, and
pocket
they'd
all the
pocket it.
money. And then they told the owners it was slow last night. It was slow because the owners were so cooked out they wouldn't even visit the bar half the time. So like they would just say, "Hey, we're doing real bad. We're doing real bad," and they'd be just making money. hand
Well,
over
dude, I
fist.
remember like in
like
literally,
Woody,
I remember, I
grifters.
fucking drifters. We're surrounded by it.
Where I learned it. Where I learned
I
my
remember
craft.
I would go there and I would drink literally all night and buy drinks for people and everything else, and it was a $25 tab.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah.
Yep, it
Not
was
last night.
no.
What did you guys spend last night?
A lot.
I honestly like Jamie and I did. Jamie had 2 drinks, and
You
I
guys
had
ate.
yeah, we had 2 meals, 2 drinks, and I had a pop. Plus I bought that 4-pack of beer to take home, and I got out of there with tip for like $70.
Yeah, I probably doubled that. But I bought Jamie a
Why?
drink. I bought Anne's drinks. I bought
Oh.
my food, Anne's food. I bought all Melissa's drinks. I bought Murph a drink. So I think tip included. I was out. It was about $140.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah,
worth it. That
mine
was
was
a beautiful
80.
place.
Mine was 80 plus tip. I hit the
Yeah.
25% thing, so it was 100 something.
Well, you guys had. How are the beers, by the way?
They
I
were
don't have any beer.
okay. I am not a fan of microbrews. I don't like them.
Mm-hmm.
This was the
Mhm.
closest they had to a normal beer.
I love.
Now, do they not
microbrews.
sell
Yeah.
any
No.
like mainstream beers there? It's all
No.
micro.
I was gonna switch right at the beginning. I was just gonna do Jack and Coke, but you know how I get with that. So I
Yeah.
was like, I'm not gonna do that. So
George, didn't you buy a 4-pack of some?
yes, he said that.
Yeah, I ended up
But
getting a
That's
4-pack
not. That
of
was
the
a.
IPA.
Oh, was it their IPA?
Yeah, it's one of their.
Oh, okay.
I think it's one of their. It's a low IBU, so it's
What's
not
IBU?
real. It's international bitter units, which basically is, it's on a scale
Bullshit.
of 1 to 100,
Right.
and it's how bitterly hoppy it is.
Yeah.
And this one's like a 35. So and now it's not a session beer because
Yeah.
Oh,
Totally.
Sorry.
it's a little high on the alcohol content, but
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Which
well,
kind did you do?
I can't remember which one it is. I just grabbed the tall. They had the tall boy cans
Oh,
of it.
okay.
So,
Sounds like.
and I
Scoville
haven't had
units to
any
me.
yet. Scoville units, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Yes,
it's a
very hot.
it's pepper beer.
It's
Actually,
Scoville, right.
speaking of that, have you ever had pepper beer, like
Yes.
jalapeno beer?
Yes.
No.
It's a weird feeling. Like it's got the bitterness
Right.
of hops, but then you're getting punched on the
Right.
back end, like with this heat. It's
It's-
weird.
It's like you drink it and then right after you swallow it, a couple seconds later, you're like, oh, like where the hell
Yeah.
did that come from? It just kicks you with the heat like an aftertaste, like
Yeah.
an after effect.
Ah,
It's weird. It's good, but it just is awkward.
no.
Like
I
I
had,
Woody,
uh,
you were drinking
I was drinking
Moscow
3.
Mules, right?
No,
Ooh.
no, there was a it wasn't even a Moscow Mule. It was a cherry limeade mule. I had one of those,
that actually
and I
sounds
had
good.
a watermelon sugar.
Well, that's
Watermelon
and
sugar.
his 3 of his fingers
And
fell
that's-
off.
I
from
was
the
gonna
beat.
say that's a good choice, Woody.
That's in the 0.1 bitter scale.
Point one IBU.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, it's
Tasha
good
had
time.
all kinds. She had a mojito. She ordered a watermelon sugar.
Well,
We
I
brought
was
her a
going to say
mojito.
because you were. I don't know how many times you could tell the helium artist that was our waitress that you're like, she ordered a watermelon. That is definitely not a watermelon drink. That's
she
a
didn't care,
mojito.
but she likes it, right? That's what she said. I'm
Yeah.
like, Yeah, but that's not what she ordered.
Right. Well, they ran out
What
of
do you not
watermelon.
understand? Well, they told me that after
And then-
like,
and
the
then
fourth
I got
time
one.
I asked for it. Yeah, and
Yeah,
then Woody got one
Woody.
after.
Actually,
like,
then they brought two
whatever.
of them out. I think there was possibly something wrong with the one waitress.
Yeah.
They sent someone out to buy some watermelons in between. Like, we
Yeah.
got way too many people
Your,
ordering these.
your brother at one point
Go out.
started telling the waitress about how Franny's used to be, and she didn't care in
Oh,
the
yeah.
No,
slightest.
But he
He
would
just
not.
tried
He
to
wouldn't
get
let her
away.
go either.
No, he just had her.
Because
and
he's
was
like, and then when you would there was some people would be ejaculating all
poor
over the
girl.
floor,
that
and-
poor girl.
and she just stood there like, I need another pill. And
So when so I know you guys probably can't tell me now, but you'll have to tell me eventually. Jim at some point was saying something, and then you guys just shut him down. You're like, nope, you're done, and Jim's like, okay, I'm done.
Oh,
Like he
yeah.
was saying something
I'll think about it. I remember, and it's going to take me a minute to.
because I even asked. I looked over. I was like, what?
Oh,
and you
it
guys
was
are
your
like, no.
I think it was referring to your Mexico trip.
Oh,
oh my God, yes, he started. We're like, no, we're done with that. We only put that on podcasts for people because we know that certain people don't listen to that. Yeah, no, he started talking about that. And speaking of mojito, I'm like,
Yeah.
like, you just see the wheels coming off the whole
Yeah.
story, and yeah, it was crazy.
I motioned over to your wife and I said, shh.
And he picked up on it
You did.
after a shh, shh, shh. So
it's funny the dynamic between George and his wife when he goes out and he's having a few drinks or something. It's like you could watch him. He's climbing a hill. He's just getting more and more and more, and then she'll just give him a look or one word,
Yeah.
and it shuts him down, and then slowly back up the hill
She's
again.
she's all calm and collected, and she'll just
Yeah.
look
Yeah.
at him or touch him.
Oh.
Yeah.
that's why I
I love your
stuck
wife.
with
I
Pop.
just
Yeah,
kills
she's
me.
awesome.
Love
But
her.
I stuck with
So
Pop
funny.
yesterday. I was going to be her DD, and so it worked out pretty good.
Oh, was she drinking? I didn't even see her drinking much.
Well, you bought her a drink,
You're right, I did.
and
Shows
I
you
got
what I know.
hammered.
I
Yeah,
think she
you
only
were
had.
drunk.
Yeah, you were kind of plastered. Did you guys end up Ubering home? Is that what you did?
No.
He lives across the street.
Yeah, I live right there. I mean, it's right there. Probably still shouldn't have, but
You
at
walked,
that point,
right? He walked.
sure.
Yeah,
We'll say
he
that.
walked while pulling his car.
Right. He pushed it home. It's fine.
No, Tasha pushed the car while DJ drove it.
Yeah, he steered.
I was like, ah.
Put your back into it.
Oh, Christ.
No, it was a good time, but it got me like I got all nostalgic.
I know. George, at the end of it, George is like, once a month. Once a month.
Well, because we were walking home. We were walking to the car, and I told Jamie, I said, "My God, that was so much fun."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, we really need to start doing this more." And I said, "What do you think? Like once a month?" She goes, "Yeah." And I go, "I'll be back." She goes, "No, George." And I said, "No, I gotta tell him." And like I'm running over there like it was like we got together for somebody's funeral.
You
And I
did
go,
just like appear out of nowhere. You're like, once a month.
once a month. And and everybody's like, "Okay, yeah."
Once a month might be kind of a lot,
But
but
George does
once
this with
every few
everything.
months.
We went out to eat a couple months ago, and after we were saying our goodbyes, and he's like, "We need to do this. We need to do this once a month. At least once a month, we'll have like a dinner group." I'm like,
Well,
Actually,
I
for
think
that-
the bar either go to a bar or go out to dinner. We got to do something at least once every other month.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm all for it. I had
Yeah.
a blast.
Yeah,
last
I
night.
had a great time, and it got
Bring
me,
Jeffy along.
Yeah,
got me thinking back.
so he
like,
can get a trophy.
Yeah.
that is true. It
Had
got
you
me
thinking
thinking
back,
back. Like it had been almost 20 years since we started going to that place. Now of one iteration or the other.
It doesn't feel
Right.
like it.
No, and I was like,
No.
that's what I told Jamie. I was like, my God, it just goes so quick. But my kid's going to be 15.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
yours is 15 right
mine,
now. What
mine
you know,
is, and he's almost 16.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
So I was looking into this and about like time going faster the older you get,
Yes,
and
which is the topic, by
someone-
the way.
someone explained it like this. They said that when you're when you're 10 years old, a year of your life is a tenth of your life. When you're 40 years old, a year of your life is only 1/40th of your life.
Right.
So obviously there's going to feel a big difference in between.
Wait a minute. Explain that to me.
Okay, so if you're 10 years old, 1 year is only a 1/10 of your life.
So like second grade or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
so. Is that more?
So, but if you're 40 years old, right? If you're 40 years old, it's 1/40th. It
right.
feels like a smaller, like
so how does that
same amount of time has passed by, but you feel like it took a lot less time to do it because you're comparing it to the span of your life. So when you're younger, and you're a year old, a week.
That's your whole
right.
It seems like it's forever.
It's the perception, the way you
see it. You're basing it against your own experiences, and you're 40 some years old, so 20 years is half of your life.
Right.
So something that happened 20 years ago.
Right.
Whereas if you were 20 years old,
percentage of your overall.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Like think about when you were. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, think about when you were a kid and your summer was like forever. Because you got out of school and school took so long, and then you had your summer break, and it was only, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it is. I don't know, it's 3 months or so. But
you Phineas and Ferb, it's 100 days.
It's 104 days. Summer vacation.
You would completely pack as much
right
into those days as you could because you were a kid out playing and everything else. Right.
And it seemed like it lasted forever. And now you blink and summer's over because you're like,
then school comes around just to end it.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just casually working in the Phineas and Ferb theme song.
Don't sing it all at once because then we'll have to pay royalties. All right.
Yeah, right. No more than 15 seconds.
I've been watching that lately, putting it on for my son.
I love that show.
He likes it.
It is good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I have
Rick and Morty.
Cartoons.
I have the sound.
Rick and Morty.
Oh.
Yeah, that's so good.
I've got the Phineas and Ferb soundtrack somewhere. It's got all the songs from every show.
Squirrels in my pants.
Yeah, absolutely.
Squirrels in my pants.
And George, you said Rick and Morty. I've never seen Rick and Morty.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my God, it's incredible.
It's I don't know. It's one of those shows like Breaking Bad.
Morty.
It's one of those shows that's so overly popular that I'm like, yeah, it can't be that good if so many people.
Anything everybody else likes, Geoff hates.
Well, see, that's what I don't. You're like Mr. Ironic, where it's. Oh, you guys like pop music? I liked pop before it was pop. It's that guy.
Yeah.
No, Rick and Morty's good. I mean, yes, it is overly popular.
It is.
And you see the shirts
but
everywhere.
But there's a reason for that. There's a reason things are popular is because they're good.
Because
if they weren't good, people wouldn't like them.
Woody keeps going foggy.
He does. Quit moving your hands. It's like
he's a showman.
He is. What do I got here?
Yeah.
Ooh, watch this finger.
Half of Grifton is showmanship.
That's it.
Yeah, just keep an eye on his hands as he's distracting you with his beautiful charm.
Not over here. Wallet.
Wait a minute. Was it Franny's that somebody digitally penetrated somebody? Or is that no?
Digitally penetrated.
Not over the internet with a digit.
That was okay.
You don't remember this from last night?
I'm sorry. I just was like squirrel. It just dawned on me that we were talking about the Boot Scootin' Saloon.
Oh.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
And my brother was like, well, it closed down. And Josh on the other side of the patio goes, yeah, that's when somebody got digitally penetrated.
I didn't hear that.
It was like in the news that like the reason why they had to shut it down was because on the dance floor someone got digitally penetrated.
What does that mean?
Digits.
Somebody got fingered on the dance floor, and
you have to shut down a place because somebody got fingered.
Well, Jamie crossed her fingers. She goes, "Woo."
I don't think it was wanted.
No, it was not wanted.
Okay, so there was an assault. You shut down the bar because there was one assault?
Right.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying. Look at Boccaccio's.
No,
how many times people got shot at that place?
Yeah, you arrest the person who did it. And you don't shut
They probably don't know who did it.
They don't know who did it.
I mean, they're not sniffing fingers on the way out the door.
Maybe Maybe it was the
It's-
owner. Like, think about that. Maybe it was the owner or the manager, and they're
If
like,
it was the owner, I can see it being shut down.
I don't know.
I do
Other than
remember they
that-
had the trough of ice in the urinal,
Yeah.
and people would put their beer in it and piss.
Well, just look at it this way, though. Somebody like
No.
somewhere along in the country gets
Jeff's
raped,
like, no.
gets
no.
raped in a Walmart bathroom or something
Right.
like that. You don't shut down Walmart.
Well, no, because that's a Wednesday at Walmart.
Right. That's.
But I mean, you don't shut down an establishment because there was
Well,
a crowd.
Walmart's a little bit bigger than the boot was.
Yeah. And the boot was also.
How do you blame the establishment? There's dance
Well, I
floors
think
in
they were
all
blaming
kinds
the
of
lack of
bars.
security.
Right.
Right.
That
and
could have happened
probably-
at the pub. It could have happened anywhere.
Right, but how the management handles the situation,
Right.
is what's going to determine if it
Oh,
stays
so
open
you
or
think it was
closed.
handled poorly?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was. It's your fault for
Yeah.
dancing with a short skirt on.
Right.
You know, like
Ah,
one of
okay.
those kind of things, and they're like, "Whoa, that's not."
Woody,
right."
that's a real shallow point of view.
It really
is.
is.
Yeah.
It's
I probably wouldn't have said that if I were you.
nope, because our show isn't a big enough
Yeah,
entity to
back
back
when
that.
We're like
back-
the boot, so we're done.
Back when I managed the boot, you know.
The views and opinions expressed by Woody are not the actual views and
right.
opinions of the Shuffle Pod. No,
And you
I
know-
think, yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I just brought that up. It just crossed my mind. I was like, boy, time flies when you're getting digitally penetrated.
Yeah.
Well, when I hear digitally, I'm thinking
Electronically, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to think this was what? God, I think the boot's been gone for 15 years.
So
you know?
from this point on, I'm going to refer to fingering as hacking.
Yes.
A bitch got hacked.
Digital hacking and dog faces is the name of the
Digital-
episode.
There you go.
Too
Done.
good.
Digital
Yep.
hacking or digital penetration? Which one? Which one do we want?
Ah,
All right, so this is DJ
Either.
and I were trying to talk about this the one day, but he just refused to see my point of view on this.
what?
Okay, when you're younger, when you're like, okay, George, you remember things from 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no problem. I mean, you know,
Yes.
maybe a little blurry, but now when you're 5 years old, why don't you remember things from when you were a baby?
Because your brain's not actually completely developed at that point in time.
George, thank you.
I think that's
And-
bullshit.
No, it is. It's science.
Yes,
That's why you
thank
don't
you.
understand it, you old bastard. You old coot. Listen, here's the thing. It's well known that you're not observant of your surroundings when you're 5 years old. Okay. And your brain doesn't stop actually up until 25 years old, I think is what I heard. It's not fully developed. So you're not cognitively receptive to, I'm just slinging big words like I know what I'm talking about, but you're not,
It's working.
you actually don't process like this should be a memory. I should remember this. Where you're not, when you get older, I think you start processing things. What do you think, Geoff?
You don't have to think about making a memory. But
Exactly.
I think the point, to your point, is if it's not a memorable moment, then it's not something that's going to stick around.
Everything at that young of age would be a memorable moment.
No, but it is a memory, but it's not a.
Right.
It's a learning experience. Like you remember,
Right.
don't touch don't touch that, it's hot. Or, oh, I don't like that because it's sour. You know,
Right.
it's those things. You
Mhm.
remember like impactful events in your, but you don't remember like little things until you reach a certain age. Now, that being said, I can remember like the first time I tried booze. I was a little kid and I had my first sip of beer. I remember that. Or
Right.
my first puff of a cigarette, you know? But I don't remember what I did on a daily basis.
Well, no, I'm not saying you remember what you did on a daily basis 5 years ago, but you should have more memories than what you
But you don't.
have of exactly. So
Right.
why is that?
Because you're not wired at that point in time to remember things. You're wired as you're a little kid to learn, like, I don't do this because of that. You know, it's correlations. You don't
Right.
remember like I remember going to Geauga Lake as a 5-year-old.
Mhm.
it doesn't. That shit doesn't process.
Right.
And one thing that you don't see at Geauga Lake is like there might have been like some rundown rides or some older stuff, but you see it as like perfect.
This magical place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You go as an adult and you might see something and you're like, oh man, that thing, look at how bad that is. Like, look at the painting, the paint on this wooden playset or something. It's really crappy. You see it as a kid and it's just magic.
I think you're less observant as a child too, you know?
Yeah.
No, I think you're more observant as a child. I think you need it's almost like a survival instinct as a child that you don't have the ability to run away. You don't have the ability to fight. You have to be more observant of your surroundings.
So you're saying like you really think that somebody is more observant when they're like, let's even just talk about abduction, okay? Where it literally, do you want to see my puppy? Yeah, puppy, puppy, puppy. You don't go, well, I think this guy's going to make me.
No, I'm not saying that your thought process is that you have all the experiences that tell you that this is a bad situation. But I'm saying more along the lines of like when somebody's blind, their hearing increases. So as a child, when you're
See that, puppy?
when you can't run away, when you can't fight, your powers of observation are going to be all that you have. And I think they're going to be pretty heightened. I think that there's got to be some kind of chemical process that keeps you that I don't know if it keeps you from, but like makes it so that you don't remember early childhood.
So Woody is like, he thinks that even as like an infant, they remember everything, and then something blocks it.
Not everything, but it's gonna be like what you like when you're 5 years old. You don't remember what happened to you when you were a year old, but I remember what happened to me 4 years ago. Okay,
correct.
But I don't remember every day to day and
but like what George said,
right?
But major things, I think I remember, and I think that a child should be able to remember major incidents that happen.
They're lazy.
They're lazy.
But I don't think you know
They
how
should be able to.
when you're younger, you don't know how to compartmentalize things.
Right.
You know, everything is, as a child, it's
Trish, do you
me.
Do you compartmentalize things in your own brain? Do you tell your brain where to store information and how to access it?
So what's
really
your theory here? What's your theory?
Yeah. What I
I
guess.
Where are you
don't
going
know.
with this?
I don't know. I think this is something I've always wondered about. Like, it's why don't you remember those early years? Like it's easy to say, oh, I don't remember because it was so long ago. But when you're 10 years old, why doesn't a 10-year-old remember the first years of his life? Maybe not when a baby, but toddler. But remember what it's like before I could get my thoughts
Because
and processes
I think you're learning so much when you're a small adolescent that life is just like boom, 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 boom. Everything's new. And I think you do remember stuff, but you don't have the ability to pull those memories back out until you get to a certain age and maturity.
So do you believe that those like in our brains, those memories are still there?
No.
Okay, so hear me out on this one. They're talking about those brain implants that
like
they're gonna
Neuralink?
Right, like Neuralink.
Sure.
And they're saying you're going to have total recall. Because everything is stored there. You'll just be able to access it. This is like pulling the information off a computer. You don't have to sort through the whole computer to find this file.
Total recall of things that were able to be memories, though. And like what George said, your brain is not developed enough to actually store those memories at that age. So I don't think they're going to be able to pull.
That's my question.
Young.
That's my question. Is it that because some people's brains are wired that way? They have a photographic memory or an eidetic memory where they can pull. So it seems to me the information is there. We just don't have access to it.
Now,
because why would their brain chemicals become so completely different than ours that stored all that information and they were able to access it? I think that ours is just the information's there.
But photographic memories, they're not accessing memories from when they were one.
correct.
Are they? I have no idea.
No, they don't.
No. there's
you
a
can
huge-
access a memory
because
of
your
like,
brain's not developed.
right.
well, you can access a memory of from a giant impactful event. Let's just say, hypothetically, okay, you say you burnt yourself, all right. You can remember like burning yourself, but you don't remember what you felt and what you thought and everything else. You remember that event, you know. Like
I think it's
okay,
kind of bullshit.
no, it's not, because here's the thing. All right, when my jaw got shattered when I was little, all right, and it knocked all my teeth out. Okay, I remember what happened before, and I remember waking up during surgery. Okay, I don't remember any of the other stuff in between. I remember when they having cement on my teeth, and when I would brush my teeth, the cement would fall off. But I don't remember them re-cementing my teeth. It's just bits and pieces of an impactful thing.
Right. Okay.
Because
I'm
it was
not saying that you're not describing your memories correctly. What I'm saying is how old were you when that happened?
4,
Okay.
I believe 4
Now,
or 5.
if that would have happened last year, would you have remembered all those things?
I think so.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd say so.
I'd say-
Yeah.
But my
So-
brain is 44 years old. It's
Right.
not 5.
Right.
But when you're 5, you can't remember from when you were 1.
Correct. That's
Right.
the point.
because your brain's not developed. I don't understand
I think
the
that's
hang up
bullshit.
here.
Maybe
No.
what he says.
Can,
So,
can I
Sounds like it.
can I give you an example based on what I was told by a neurologist? Because my wife had similar situations after one of her surgeries.
Okay.
Right, my wife had brain cancer, so when she had one of her surgeries, it was close to her, it was like speech or one of the other centers that also affects memory, because your memory is based on speech along with sights, sounds, and the rest of your senses. So, like you were saying, with blind people, their hearing gets better, right? They only have memories of hearing, and some people who have lost their sight have fewer memories from when they were sighted, because the other senses take effect. Your brain rewires itself all the time. The reason you don't have memories from when you're... All right, nobody has memories from infancy because your brain doesn't allow it. It hasn't started recording, basically. You don't have memories
That's
from toddler
bullshit.
to
You
about...
just keep
No,
saying it's bullshit.
it's not bullshit. Your brain doesn't understand that. It doesn't
Okay,
record it.
Bullshit,
so
Jeff.
why don't you?
Bullshit.
So then every time as a toddler, when you see your mom, she should be a stranger.
No, they're
No.
not. We're not goldfish.
You've got
We
facial
identified
recognition.
Well, that's what he's saying. He's saying your brain is not allowing you to store those memories.
No.
No,
You-
you remember big chunks of things
You-
because your mother is the person that keeps
Right.
you alive at that time.
You're talking memories, like about events, about things. Your brain is picking up information and keeping it from the time you're in the womb. Like, it's starting to do things. Like, you suck on your thumb and you remember that's a comfort thing. You remember that.
I remember I used to just put my dick in my mouth.
Right. Because, if you can do it, you do it. But your brain then filters
got
out
fat.
the stuff that you don't need, and it rewires all those pieces that you do have to make sense of what's around you. So as you get older, from infancy to 5, or small child, you start to pick up memories, like you guys are saying, the big stuff, because it makes an impact, and your brain's like, oh well, shit, look at that, and it's like, I need to store this because it had an emotional impact. Yeah, you can say no, but this is what I was told by a neurologist.
The neurologist is an idiot. Then because when you're that small,
Jeff, it's just bullshit.
It is.
when you're that small, everything is an impactful event.
Yes.
When nothing in your life has happened to you, the first time you see the color blue, that is an impactful event.
Yes,
you
and you
can't
do
say
it as
that
an
it's like
infant.
only when you're at 5, as you start having impactful events. You have impactful events your whole entire
But you
life.
haven't learned how to compartmentalize your memories and stuff because you're unaware of the fact that this is a memory.
Right.
Okay. You learn big chunks of things because your brain is taking in so much. You're learning how to eat, how to drink. It's that whole thing. You're learning to become more self-reliant. As you age, you already know all of the other things that you have to do to survive. So yes, you go, man, that sunset. As an adult, I can ask you, do you remember what you did 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can
could-
completely paint a picture as to what you did 2 weeks ago all the way through to today. You can't do that because
Okay.
you're compartmentalize the important things of what they are as memories. Now, can you recall certain things? You're like, that's right, I do remember that. Yes, because you're
So the memories are there. You just can't access them.
because your brain's not developed.
The hippocampus starts tying in the what is it, the neurons,
Right.
around the age of like between 2 and 4. So no, your brain is not developed at that point. You're not there yet. That's why you can't remember that stuff. Like even Neuralink won't pull that out because it's not there.
Right.
Then how do you remember your mom's face? How do you remember your dad's
Because
face?
that's your nurturer.
Right.
It's an instinct. You're okay. Now wait.
And you see them every
confusing
day.
what is instinct and memories. There are two completely different things. You don't have to think about every time you take a breath. Okay.
Right.
But your brain had to tell you when they smacked you on the ass when you came out of the womb. Oh shit! Now I have to breathe on my own. They're in it, but that's a survival instinct.
No, but
You
I do
remember who
see-
your parents are.
I see Woody's point though, because
I don't think you just naturally know who your parents are.
well, there's more than just your parents. Because I mean, my son right now he's not quite 2, between 1.5 and 2, and he talks. How does he remember what words mean? So it's not just parents. I mean, he
Sure.
talks about a mower and trucks and cars and monkeys and whatever. But I mean, so it's not all just instinctual. It is stuff that he's learned.
It is stuff that he's learned. Absolutely.
Right.
So if you're not creating those neural pathways when
I
you're an
Woody,
infant,
I guess the difference is long-term, short-term. The short-term stuff stays there. Now, if we stopped, he knows tons about like cars, trucks, and tractors and stuff like that right now. If we stopped giving that to him, he'd forget about it because it's not a long-term memory. We do it every day with him.
Right.
He talks about this stuff every day, and
But it's something that he enjoys and it brings him happiness. Now, he doesn't remember that, say, Tasha made macaroni and cheese 2 days ago. Okay. And he ate macaroni and cheese for the first time. Let's hypothetical. Okay.
Right.
I wasn't spying on you guys.
Damn it,
But he doesn't remember. Oh, I remember that. Now, he may remember when he walks into the kitchen and he smells something. All right. And he goes, cheese. He's learning stuff.
Right.
But it's not a vivid memory at that point.
Okay. Yeah, it's not going to turn into a long term.
Right. Now, I mean, are you saying then, Woody, that you feel that people do remember things, we just can't recall them?
yeah.
Okay, maybe that is, but the bottom line is our brains aren't developed to.
That's kind of where I'm
bring
trying
that
to go
stuff
with
out.
this is like with that Neuralink, do you think that like when they turn that on, it's automatic? It would be I mean, those neurons have been placed in like basically those memories are there. Okay. You just can't like, have you ever tried to remember something you couldn't remember it and then all of a sudden, boom, you got it? It's like,
Yes,
it
but
found the path. So that information was hidden there somewhere. Okay.
Yes,
was
but
in the back of your brain.
you're not going to like if these neuropath this total recall thing that you're talking about, you're not just going to have a flood of every single memory that you've had. You're going to have to
But you'll be able to access it.
Does that mean everyone will be like super geniuses, to steal
Yes.
a Trump term?
Honestly,
Because every book you've ever read, you can
Yes.
remember every word of it with Neuralink.
yes.
If you had total recall.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about, with total recall, you'd have absolutely, I mean, if it all depends on like, when does it go from when what's actually stored in your brain right now, or is it going to be going from when they implant the implant?
Wouldn't you just kind of go
That-
crazy with total recall? Because
No, I think you would.
think of the happiest moments of your life and the most tragic moments of your life. You're going to remember all of that all the time. All the
I
time.
would remember is
You-
dog face.
Be able to
You'd be
access it.
crying and laughing.
Right.
You'd go crazy. Like,
It's like,
this is what really gets me is that I think we change our memories to suit how we want things to happen.
Yeah.
Like, and if you had total recall of a situation, your view on your life would be completely different than it is now. You know, and like,
Well, I don't think any of us would have any personalities if you have total recall.
Right. We're like,
Because you're just going to be nothing but information.
Right.
I mean, look, I'm not debating that people don't have memories, okay, as far back as we can remember. Let's say, Woody, you remember something when you were 3 years old, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But that's a special event. That's something that can bring you back all the way back to that point in time. There's a reason that when people have dementia or Alzheimer's, they can remember stuff when they were younger, okay? Because they were huge, impactful events. They're like these big blotches of color, okay?
No, they can remember things that like they can remember what they had for breakfast 30 years ago.
Yes.
But they can't remember what they had for breakfast today.
But it's because it's the most primal styles of memories that you have. You don't remember like when you met your wife, okay? Because you were an adult and that's why you forget who your children and stuff are, but you remember. Right. I remember playing with the red ball. Well, okay, the red ball was a symbol for, like, this is what brought me happiness. My hand looks huge, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So this is what brought me happiness, okay, was this little red ball. You don't specifically remember the red ball until you can't remember anything else. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I don't know if that's true though. Like, I don't know if it's you're only remembering, like, people with Alzheimer's are only remembering impactful events. From what I understand, they're remembering just random situations that happened to them, 40 years ago.
Okay.
But today they can't remember what they had for breakfast, So that's why I'm saying, like, I think that all of those memories are back there. It's all in there. You just have to be able to access it.
See,
and that's a really good point about how we're going to be when we have complete and total access to our memories.
We're not going to be people at that point. And I'm not trying to be morbid, or science fiction-y. We're not going to become, because each individual person, no matter how good or how bad their life was, okay, we have the ability to A, remember things, B, how to process them, and what correlates as a good memory or a bad memory, and how you learn and adapt from that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And that's what paints every single one of us as different. Okay. And if you had every memory of every single moment of your life, you're not going to have any personality, in my opinion.
Right. Like, if you had total recall.
That's why it's science fiction-y.
But they're talking about it being a reality.
Here's the problem.
I don't think I would want that.
Yeah, and here's the problem I have with it. From the eons of, studying the brain. All right, it hasn't been eons, but it's been several decades that they've started to really start understanding the brain. We still have no idea how it actually works. Like, we know it works on electric charges and neurons and all that crap. But we also know that when people remember stuff, they don't actually remember it. They're putting their, like Woody said, it's the best.
Sorry.
Like, I don't know what he's remembering right now, but it's not good. But
everything.
Like, for instance,
he's remembering bad touch.
Like, Woody, you're talking about, people remembering, with Alzheimer's, what, they can remember what they had for breakfast like years ago, but not what they had yesterday. No, they don't. They think they do. And it's real to them, but they're not. They're not remembering most of the stuff they are. They're remembering the situation and kind of what happened, but not what happened.
See, Geoff, you say this as you know that's fact, but I think you're full of shit. I think you don't know that, because I've talked to people that have like, their family members have gone through this Alzheimer's thing, and they're like, yes, they remember.
It's weird.
This.
I wish I knew someone that had a family member or multiple or a wife that went through it. Yeah, that's weird. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Thank you.
What I'm saying is I know that there's people that I know of that have had Alzheimer's that their husband's been like, yeah, she remembered this thing that we did that I completely forgotten about, and remembered in such detail. And I was there, so I know it actually happened. But she doesn't remember our son's name when he comes to visit.
Right, but he
Well,
forgot,
because
so
it's-
he believes it's the right detail. He doesn't
Well,
remember.
I think it's somewhere in between.
Oh,
Absolutely, and I'm not saying it's 100%
it's how
wrong.
they're remembering
But
it.
exactly,
And
we
they're filling it in as facts.
we remember things the way we remember them, not the way they happened. That is scientifically
I
proven.
believe that 100%.
So if you get total recall in your brain, you're going to recall these things incorrectly. That's
a
all
good
I'm
point.
saying. Because
So
you
you're not-
didn't remember the facts. You
You're not
remembered
going
what
to
you.
all of a sudden be a genius
Correct.
because you remember every.
That's
word
why
from the book.
witnesses are so
No,
bad.
I
Yes.
I think it's the other way around. I'm not.
No.
I'm saying I think we color our memories. I agree with that. But I think if you had total recall, you would not be able to do that.
Oh, you think Total Recall? It would be almost like a camera,
Yes.
Okay,
and
that
you can re-look at it.
right.
Right.
If that's what it is, that I can understand. But then it's only from the point they implant it, because it's got to be a recording device too. Because
No, because the memories are actually still there. Granted, you might have altered them in your own, but I believe the base memories are still there.
right. But if the if the total
raw
recall
file.
thing, makes you remember them properly, then I could see it happening. But it
Yeah.
can't work with previous memories because you didn't have it then. It's not. It's not going to correct old memories, because how does it know? It can't change things that, you know what I mean? Like,
Wow,
if you, God, I don't know how
I
to
never thought of
explain
it
it
like
right.
that.
It's like
I think you bring up a good point, Jeff. Is I think what you both are saying, okay, it makes a lot of sense. And what I'm taking from it is, we can't really, for like Total Recall, it does take away the. I'll remember if we all do the exact same event at the exact same
Right.
time, and then 10 years from now we tell the story, you're gonna have moments where you're like, oh, that's right.
right.
Because I saw somebody with a fancy pair of sneakers, okay, and that's the big thing that I put in, to that story where Woody talks about, no, he had a red hat, and we do this whole thing,
Right.
and it's how we compartmentalize it. Whereas once again, if it goes to the Total Recall part, we're just computers at that point.
Right. We're just sharing the same exact story because that's how we all saw it, just from different vantage points instead of.
Sorry, I was in here playing with my tiny hand in my mouth.
It was actually really creepy
Like
too.
it's crawling out of my mouth.
I don't know, man. So Woody, what made you think about this?
Well, I was just thinking about that whole neuro implant thing, like, and how you're going to access past memories, and I think that the memories are actually, like, the virgin memories are still there that we have. Okay, we might have interpreted them in our own way and made them fit our own narrative in our mind, but I think that the base data is still there, and when they, like, say they do get to the point where you got a neuro implant and you have total recall of your whole entire life, it's gonna blow your mind because your life is not what you think it is. I mean, if you go back from a third person perspective and watch your life through, as
And you
opposed,
basically can do
and
that.
yeah, right, and you have no ability to force the situations into, things that make it look a little bit better for yourself. You're just watching a completely third person point of view of your life.
You realize, wow, I'm a huge piece of shit.
Yeah.
Right. So this,
Yeah.
you're saying this product is going to fail immediately if it works that way.
Yeah, because people won't do it.
I wouldn't do it. That's why would you want to do that?
Yeah,
Why
I
would
don't
you
know.
develop that?
You know where I think they'll use it?
Advancement of the human race. I mean,
They'll use it in medical and criminal.
Criminals, what I was thinking.
yeah, criminal. I could definitely
Absolutely.
see.
Yeah, because like further proof to what Jeff was saying is each one of us can see the exact same event happen in real time. And then we're pulled into an interrogation room. We're going to tell basically the same story, but it's going to be like real freaking weird.
Right.
You know,
Mhm.
that each one of us are going to have different details, you know, which I think goes back to what Geoff and I were saying, you know, to where you compartmentalize it and stuff. And these are the things that this is how you made a memory. Okay.
Okay.
Um, but Woody, you're saying,
It's not how you made the memory; it's how you altered the memory
Right.
to fit your narrative.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
So I think the technology would be amazing if it was selective and you know
Bingo.
what like you want if you could like what he said if you could go back and pull back a specific memory at random at any time, that would be kind of cool.
That would be, because then you wouldn't get flooded with
Right, but
happiness
if
and
it's just
sadness
you
and-
all of a sudden get the information, that's your head would explode. You would probably go insane and maybe shock. I mean, that would
So-
just be
Right, you probably
We-
would. I mean, you'd almost it'd almost be counterproductive to where you would just you'd have no new experiences because you'd just be going over the past experiences of your life.
if you
you
can
know?
if you can recall anything, can you make like feelings like basically what I'm trying to say is could you remember exactly and recall like with your brain chemicals and everything, so like you could just orgasm all the time? Could it be a
So you're
giant
saying like
masturbation machine?
manufacturing actual physically manifesting an emotion.
Yeah.
How about this? Could you
Because then it would
take
work.
one person's experience and download it into your brain?
That would come later, I think,
Right.
if it's all stored and can be pulled out electronically.
So it would be like the
you could
Matrix. Like
store it.
right,
I
Yeah.
just learned kung fu.
right.
Right. I want
I
to learn kung
just
fu.
slept with Jenna Jameson.
I'm going to plug my
Right.
avatar ponytail USB into something and upload it into my brain.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean that
then I could get in the mind of a grifter.
I'd like to see what makes him tick. I'll tell you what it is. It's the
Complicated.
greenbacks.
Yeah, it really is.
It's complicated.
I don't know. I think we touched a little bit on the memories going quicker, and it took a U-turn into Woody's memory thing.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I think it was a good show.
Yeah.
We found out that I strangely resemble a
A dog.
pit bull terrier with a giant head. Geoff is a
Master
hard
craftsman.
labor. He's
Yeah.
he's a hard labor man. And Woody wants to remember why he likes the color yellow. So now this was a good time. I liked
Nothing
it.
from me.
You spit out a hand.
yeah,
That's true.
that was and it's good to be back, guys. It is. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
finally.
It was that was a
What'd
long
you do, Miss
hiatus.
3?
Well,
Well,
technically
1 week we did a double.
right.
Yeah.
So yes.
And you sound different, Geoff. What do you got? You got something new in these?
It's all that hard labor work.
My sound card was kind of funky. After we had our discussion about my mic, I found out it wasn't the mic, because as I recall many times when I first got that microphone, you guys were like, "You sound amazing." I was a little quiet at first, but it
Wow,
sounded
talk
good.
about false memories.
No.
We said you sounded amazing because it was better than the boom mic you were using.
Right. But I could go back and replay those because it was recorded. But I had to get a mic that goes to the USB because my sound card is crap, and I had to boost the microphone enough to pick up my voice, and by doing so, the gain was picking up everything around me, and wasn't
Hmm.
fabulous. So
I have a question about sound cards.
sure.
On my laptop, I've got USB ports on both sides of the PC.
Yeah.
Right.
Is the sound card only one side, or do they all tie into it?
Unless you have the AV jacks for mics and earphones, it's just an onboard. It's part of the processor. Like a lot of computers have onboard, which is what mine has. It's an onboard sound card, and it's really just meant for voice commands and typing and shit. It's not meant for recording or anything like that. So, or gaming.
Which is why, like, when you're doing serious, that's our USB mics.
Right.
Has preamps in them, digital audio converters, and all that stuff. So you're not running on your computer sound card. You're running off of the Yeti, high quality sound card.
He slipped that in there. I love it.
Yeah, mine's not a Yeti.
As opposed to, there may be a bad reviewer, but it's usually about a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So on that note, boys, we'll see you. We'll see you next week. And until next week, deuces.
See you later.